Welcome to the Virtual Antics podcast, where we help entrepreneurs streamline their business to six figures and beyond. These short, sweet, and info-packed episodes will inspire, educate, and leave you feeling motivated to take one more step forward in your business. So put down your never-ending to-do list, because in this podcast, we are interviewing the best of the best in the entrepreneurial world as they spill their secrets to success. This podcast is sponsored by Nadora, the all-in-one software for entrepreneurs to grow their business with unlimited landing pages, automations, emails and text campaigns, and so much more. I'm your host, Natalie Guzman. Now let's get into it. Welcome back to the Virtual Antics podcast. I'm your host, Natalie Guzman, and today I have the fabulous Kayla on the call today, and I'm so excited because she is an amazing author. She has an awesome book that is coming out, How to Be a Digital Nomad. It's going to be available worldwide on the 30th of January. So I'm so excited. Welcome, Kayla. How are you doing today?
Great. Thanks so much for having me, Natalie.
Yeah, I'm so excited to have you here because you actually got your deal for your book through LinkedIn. Is that correct?
Yes, LinkedIn is like this fountain of youth or a fountain of something for entrepreneurs online. I talk to everyone about it because I think it's just so underutilized, and it's like the exact opposite of other social platforms where people feel like it's so competitive. I can't stand out. You can't actually have meaningful connections. LinkedIn is the opposite of that, and it's like just waiting for you to open it up and give it some love.
That's amazing, because I know myself, like many of our listeners, we've heard that LinkedIn is the place where we need to go and we need to connect. And it's kind of like a big question mark. It's like, well, we hear all the time about the algorithms when it comes to Instagram and TikTok, but then LinkedIn, I'm like, what do I do? What type of content? Like, I have no idea. Like, I know TikTok, short form, right? Videos. I know Instagram, you do, pictures and carousels and a little bit of reels. You do all three. What do you do on LinkedIn? So what type of content should we post on LinkedIn?
You should post anything that helps you connect with people kind of in your field. So I would say first start with like an introduction post, letting people know what you do and who you are and where you're located, and just open up a conversation. Actual conversations are happening every moment of every day on LinkedIn. Some of my top posts last year, I've been less active this year on LinkedIn because I was writing the book, but last year I was really, really actively every day involved. And some of my top posts were like, how tall are you? That was one of my, talking about things that always come up in real life. Whenever you meet someone in real life, there's like something that we've all heard a million times, but that might never come up after like 10 years of online friendship. So I brought that up. I said, I'm 6 feet tall. If we met in real life, you'd be like, wow, you're so tall, but no one knows that. And I forget how many comments that post got. Everybody's sharing their height. And do animals make it better or worse to work from home? I was staying with my in-laws and their cat kept sitting on my computer. And I was like, this is not acceptable. He was so just destructive to my focus, but a really lively conversation. So post things that make people talk to you and actually start conversation. And I can share more specifics, but just to kind of paint the field or paint the picture, LinkedIn is like friendly and warm. And it's not a networking event. Like, don't treat it one, or you will never feel like yourself, I don't think. And people will also not get to know you, and they'll feel uncomfortable. It's like, oh, don't pitch me. Don't give me your elevator pitch whenever we just met. It's not what LinkedIn's about, actually.
That's awesome. Yeah, because I know when I was just actually on LinkedIn and I looked at my messages and it was all spam. And like I had 30 messages, and then there was one that was actually a genuine thing. They had seen me on a reality show and they wanted to know about it because they wanted to go on it. And I was like, okay, super cool. But I almost missed that message because I had 30 spam messages. I hate the spam messages. So that is absolutely amazing. And it makes no sense, right? Keep it simple, make it engaging. It's kind of, you think it's similar to kind of the Facebook vibe? Because I feel like that's a question I would put on Facebook.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I would think it's really accurate to kind of link the two. And it's not like it's all you're going to share are these like chatty conversation starters, but you should approach it with the idea of I'm actually starting a conversation with people, not I'm doing what's going to get the most engagement, or I'm posting what I'm supposed to post for my niche today. Well, I have to, post a tip because it's Tip Tuesday, and every Tuesday I share a tip for my audience. And then you just stick to that for whatever, even if other things are going on in the world, like sometimes it's not appropriate. People's minds are elsewhere. And I think just having like a very human approach to it is beneficial. And it's not like you're standing up in front of your like old company, which is I think how a lot of entrepreneurs feel. They feel like all of a sudden it's like they're standing up, briefing all their old colleagues because that's who they're connected with. But your old colleagues aren't going to read it. You're going to connect with new people very quickly. And I forget that my old colleagues are even on LinkedIn. It's not like you're bumping elbows with people who you feel like you don't have anything to say to or something like that. It doesn't, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah. So basically you start out, posting something that allows people to engage with you, right? And then you engage with them in the comments, you said. Where do you go from there?
It's always in the comments on everyone's posts, not just yours. So comments are where all the real action happens, or where you meet people. If all you did today to work on your LinkedIn, well, your LinkedIn account should be set up correctly. We can talk about your profile if you want, but once that's done, the best thing you can do, it's even more powerful than publishing your own content. It's commenting on other people's. So asking questions, telling people, oh, that's really interesting. I had no idea, but like, engaging. I know people who comment 100 or something comments a day. That's their LinkedIn like gym routine. They go in and they comment 100 times, and that's how they grow. And that's the best way to grow.
Awesome. But it has to be genuine, right? Not spammy, not, superficial. Like, oh, looking great. Like, I feel like when I see that, I'm like, that brought no value to my life whatsoever, but thank you. It's a great compliment.
Yeah, you nailed it. Nothing superficial, and also avoiding kind of looks. Even it's a lot different if it's like women speaking to women, but whenever, it's any comment on somebody's appearance can be taken out of context. And I even had somebody comment once and say that I looked like Mirabelle from Encanto, the Disney movie, and somebody else said you shouldn't comment on people's looks. And I thought, well, that's funny. I've never heard this before, so it didn't bother me. But yeah, you don't want to leave. Yeah, just avoiding that in general.
Good. That's a good tip. So at what point, or if ever, should you directly message them?
It's really important to send a direct message whenever you reach out to connect with new people. So it is perfectly okay and even encouraged to connect with people who you don't know, but you need a reason. So let's say that you made a post today talking about something, sharing one of your episodes, and I saw that people were commenting, and then someone's headline, so that's underneath someone's name on LinkedIn, you see a little bit about what they do, their headline. Someone's headline catches my eye, and I think, oh wow, they do email marketing, and gosh, I'm so bad at my email marketing. So then I go to their profile, and then I could connect with them and say, hey, my name's Kayla. I'm an SEO writer, and I saw your comment on Natalie's post, and your headline caught my eye because I'm trying to learn about what you do. So I would love to connect with you. And that DM will grow your network infinitely. That is like the equation to send. Be friendly, introduce yourself. Don't talk about yourself, but do say what you do, and then say how you found them and why you're interested in connecting with them. And that single kind of copy paste, tweak it every time, that template can grow your network. Yeah, definitely.
Awesome. So tell me a little bit about how you got your book deal through LinkedIn. What did that process look like?
I had been posting on LinkedIn a lot. I was posting every day, and I was usually talking about one of the areas that my service business revolves around. So like SEO writing or Pinterest marketing. And then I started sharing bits about the digital nomad lifestyle because I'm a digital nomad and people are really interested in that lifestyle. And it also has a really weird reputation online that doesn't really sound totally appropriate for, it's like very bikinis and Bali, and it's just so much more to it. So I started sharing what I thought were honest insights and realistic, expectations. And then my publisher found it. I got a DM from somebody that said, hey, have you ever thought about writing a book? And I actually thought it was a spam message. I thought this guy's trying to sell me something. So I didn't reply for weeks. And then he followed up and he said, hey, are you interested in talking? He actually did say he worked for a publisher, but a publishing house, but I kind of skimmed over it. And then we got on Zoom, and that was in November 2022. And I had a book deal by December. The official offer came through, and then I wrote the whole book January to June, and yeah, it's being published in July or January.
That's super, super cool. Wow, what amazing. So you basically, you just shared things that you're knowledgeable about and things that you're passionate about. And that it brought that attraction. That's really, really awesome. Congratulations. So tell us a little bit more about your book. So you give insights on, oh, and explain what digital nomad is, because I don't think everyone understands what that is.
So a nomad, historically was someone who moved from place to place and they like survived off the land. But now we have computers and we survive off of our computers. So we're able to work. If you're able to work remotely, then it doesn't matter if you work from home or if you work like a sailboat in the middle of nowhere. And that's where the digital nomad movement, came to fill. Everyone was excited about the opportunity since like the first mobile computer came out in 1983. People hit the road that year. That was the first year that digital nomads exist. I actually interviewed the first digital nomad in my book, and I interviewed nomads spanning 5 decades of travel. So from the 80s through the 2020s, and just kind of tracked the technology and shared stories from the years. But the theme has always been the same. If you can work from home, you can work from anywhere. And people wanting that experience, that freedom, and that freedom is really the kind of like the freedom to travel is like the micro version, but the macro is flexibility. It's just another way to get more flexibility, which is everyone listening who's an entrepreneur gets it. We wanted that flexibility already. Most people probably do work online. And if you love to travel as well, you can work anywhere if you want, especially if you're self-employed, because they're more you need approvals if you're employed, but if you're self-employed, you have just the most incredible amount of flexibility.
That's amazing. And I love that you described it as flexibility, because so I started my business so I could work from home to be there for my kids. And so that gave me flexibility there. And you used it to travel, which is super, super cool. And I hope one day I'm going to do that when the kids are older. So I'm so excited. But it is amazing what being a digital entrepreneur does. And you get to work with people all over the world, which is probably one of my favorite things. Is like we have people in Germany and Australia that are clients, but then I have teammates, people that are employees that are like in Ukraine and Poland and all over the world. So I think it's such a cool thing that not only gives you flexibility, but it gives you the option for more connections with all different types of people and cultures. Now, where have you been and what kind of cultures have you experienced in your travels?
I've spent the most of the last 5 years in Europe. So I initially bought a one-way ticket to Mexico, and then I moved overland south to Peru. And I met my husband on that first leg of my trip in 2017. And he's from the Netherlands. So then I moved to the Netherlands and used that as a home base and got to know his culture and explored Europe. And we're now currently in Croatia for a few months. And I'm not sure where we're going next. We don't really plan more than 2 months out in advance. So we live out of Airbnbs. We do not have an apartment. We don't have any stuff. We have 2 backpacks each. That's our stuff. And we don't have furniture or anything. So it's a very, it's kind of the extreme version of the lifestyle, because there's a lot of people who will use this to go away for the winter or to go away like 2 or 3 times a year for a month. You don't have to like get rid of everything. That's the very nomadic side of it. But a lot of people are doing it to even spend more time with family. Like I go home to the US and I spend a month or so with my family every year. And I used to live in Chicago and my family lived in Pennsylvania. I couldn't just go spend a month in Pennsylvania. That was not an option for me. So I actually get more family time now with this improved flexibility. So for me, it's kind of been a way to get more of everything that I care about. It wasn't just about traveling. It was about like just getting more from my work arrangement, which I think everyone who starts their own business can really understand that desire.
Yeah, and I think one of the myths about running a business, a lot of people think you have to work 24/7. I think when I even see some of our uncles that own businesses, my husband's uncles, and they're taking phone calls or they're like always saying they have to work. And I'm like, you don't have to. I actually only work from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, not on Tuesdays. So I'm probably only working less than 30 hours a week, if that. And then weekends free to spend with my family, because you said it provides you flexibility. So you probably spend some of your off time maybe traveling and learning the country. Is that correct?
Yeah, we travel a lot. I work most days of the week, but I don't work all day. I'll work the morning and then explore in the afternoons, and that's just my routine. But yeah, because we are in each place for about a month normally. So we'll use that month to explore the region and get to know the city really well. Right now we're in Zadar, Croatia, which is the town where you go, you use this town to like as a jumping base to get to all the big waterfall national parks. So it's been raining since we got here, but we're going to be going out a lot in the coming weeks and yeah, seeing all the national parks and yeah, learning a little Croatian, not too much because we won't be here very long, but the basics and yeah, getting to know, eating the food, drinking the coffee, seeing the sunsets. It's very simple, very, I don't know, simple joys, I would say.
I think one of my dreams is to go to all these different countries and try chocolate, because chocolate is different everywhere you go. Every single different country has their own way of making chocolate. Some are bitter, some are more sweeter, some are more milkier. And one time I asked my husband he said, "What do you want for Christmas?" I said, "I want all the chocolate in the world." And he got me, he's so smart, he got me a tub of different chocolates from all over the world.
Wow.
Yeah, the coolest, sweetest gift I've ever received. I love it, right? And he's so smart. He's probably the smartest guy I know. And yeah, so I got to try chocolate from all the different countries. But of course, these were wrapped. I'm like, it's probably not 100% authentic, but I cannot wait to like travel and try all the different chocolates. That'd be so cool. Do you have a favorite food that you've gotten on your travels?
I'm vegetarian, so I don't have like all the options for food. Traveling a lot. Croatia is very meat heavy. The world is very meat heavy. But I always eat falafel everywhere I go. And you think it's like almost always the same, but then there's often a funny ingredient that they put on there. Like in the Netherlands, they put like Gouda on the falafel. And that's really weird. It's Dutch, that's why I like Gouda is Dutch. And in Germany, they offered sauerkraut on the falafel, and that's just like my funny thing that I like to get everywhere.
Oh,
like what obscure local item gets put on the falafel?
That's hilarious. I want everyone listening to this episode comment what you would get in a different country. I want to hear it. I want to know what you would eat if you went to a different country. What's the one thing? Mine's chocolate, yours falafel. I think there's to be some really, really interesting things. So I actually might write that on LinkedIn today. So, well, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
That's smart, right? Well, thank you so much for coming on the show, Kayla. I've learned so much already. Where can we find more about you and when your book's available? Where can we find it?
My website is writingfromnowhere.com, and you can find all of my social links on there if you're interested in connecting. If you connect with me on LinkedIn, let me know that you came from the podcast, because I don't accept LinkedIn. I don't accept connection requests without a little message if I don't know you. So send me a little message. I would love to connect. And my book is out January 30th, and that can be found on Amazon and in book retailers. It's listed on major places right now, Target, Barnes & Noble, etc. So yeah, hopefully you'll see it out there.
Awesome. That's so exciting. I'm so happy for you. I'll make sure I put those links in the show notes, and we'll talk to you guys next time on the Virtual Antics podcast.